We have to figure this out and make a decision. And that's why I keep saying you're going to see the ball is in her court. The decision is in her hands 100%. And it was pretty early on when we started thinking we may have to make a change here and do something pretty drastic.
Do not ever talk to me like that.
I mean, should we send out a search party for Dale? I don't know.
In moments like this, I wish Dale was here.
Like, when I get quality time with her, like, it's a wrap.
If you already got a boyfriend, what am I doing here?
Hi. Okay. Chris Harrison, we really do have so many questions. This was a wild episode of television. Where would you rank this one, both on this season and just in general in the entire history of the show?
I think in the Mount Rushmore of episodes, it's up there. It's on the mountaintop for so many reasons. There are about 4 or 5 things throughout this show that if one of them happened in a season, you would say, that's great. But it all happened in one episode. And as wild as this one was, this is week 3, week 4 is even more incredible. So these 2 episodes, I think, will definitely go down in the history books.
I really don't think I could sit there and go, you've dished on my fiance so hard, like I can't be doing that.
Well, I feel I have a very clear idea of what's going on now because last night Claire called Dale her fiance.
Did you say a clear idea? You have a very clear idea of what's going on?
I don't know. It's clear to me. It's clear to me how Claire feels about Dale, but why would Claire call Dale her fiance? Was there an off-camera proposal that we didn't see?
That I promise you did not miss. There was not a proposal. That did seem a little presumptuous, maybe a little overly optimistic of things to come. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was pretty shocking. And again, those are the types of things where we wanted to show you where her head is at. And there was a lot of Dale talk and a lot of, even when she was on date with other men, she was talking about Dale and what did Dale say? And it was a little like, not to be demeaning, but almost schoolgirlish of, does he like me? What did he say about me? What's going on? It was very interesting to see how she reacted to the other guys.
I definitely feel like I just met my husband. Oh my God.
Did you say you think you may have just met your husband?
Yeah.
You, on that first night when she said, I think I just met my husband, we see you come over to her and say, I've never heard a lead say that before on night 1. Tell me more about just where your head was at being the longtime host of this show as you're seeing her now call Dale her fiance and say maybe this is the shortest season ever. What's going through your mind? Had a lead ever fallen so hard, so fast before?
No, I honestly like to think that I have a pretty good poker face because I've been doing this for a while. And I think it was you that called me out on not having a very good poker face this season because that did shock me. But quite honestly, the first night I went in more of just to capture that moment and lean into that moment, not because I thought it would go this direction and go this severely in this direction. I kind of thought this will be good because we won't be going in this direction in just another week or 2. And this will be interesting that she was falling so hard for this guy and felt so strong, yet here we are on this other path, because that tends to be what happens. That's not what's happening here. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, and it's only gone more severe in that direction. And so, I go back to that night 1 and go, wow, okay, maybe she was onto something, and maybe she really did feel that strongly.
Well, we've seen, we haven't seen how it all ends, but we have seen that these guys so far don't seem super happy. They're frustrated with how much time Claire is spending with Dale. What should Claire have done differently, if anything, with them? Do you think they were right for wanting to walk out?
I think that's another thing that everyone's going to have to sit back and judge for themselves when they see all of this play out. And again, next week will be very enlightening for all of this. I definitely am not disappointed in Claire. I'm not mad at Claire. None of this is a bad thing. If Claire's falling for somebody and that's where this goes, then great. Like, the whole purpose of this is to help Claire find love. And if we help Claire find love, great. If I do it in record time, that should go on my record. That should be a good thing. So there shouldn't be a negative to this. Now, the guys aren't dumb. If you're dating somebody and you're trying to get to know somebody, and you feel brushed off. You feel like they're kind of ignoring you. They feel like she's bringing up another guy nonstop. Look, these are smart men. They're not dummies. They're going to notice this. And so it was a little off-putting. I don't blame them for being frustrated in this situation. They came for what they thought was a certain journey, and they're not getting that experience. And so I understand their frustration as well.
So Clare ends up giving herself a rose.
So right now, I feel like this rose, I won't be able to give this out tonight.
Clare, thank you for showing up tonight. You tonight deserve this rose.
You help refresh my memory. Is that a franchise first?
Yeah, another first. That wasn't a great look. She was on the group date, had talked about Dale ad nauseum, and these guys just wanted a chance. They were really frustrated. They needed, and maybe she didn't know, and to her credit, or maybe in her defense, she didn't know they needed a token to say, hey, I'm still here. You know, you still have a shot. But these guys were looking for any sign. If she'd given it to anybody, if she'd given it to one of our producers at that moment, it would have been a good sign. But instead, she walked away, and they didn't see this, but we did, when she kind of laughingly said, I'm giving myself the rose tonight. So that wasn't a great look, I will admit.
What makes you say that? Did it feel unfair to them?
I just knew the guys were frustrated. These are good men, and they really are putting their heart in this. And so I felt, you know, they weren't getting this experience. They're trying to lean into this, and you have to take a leap of faith. It's a lot. And I get, this is Clare's season of The Bachelorette. So she holds the reins. She is driving this bus. It's all her. And I, you know, need you look any further than that, you know, keeping that rose and giving it to herself. She's making these calls. It's just, these guys have also really given up a lot to be here. And I respect that too. And so I just wanted them to have a fair shot. And you could very, very clearly see on that date, they're not getting that shot anymore.
Well, take me behind the scenes a little bit. Was it when Clare just gave herself that rose that you realized you might not be getting a full season of The Bachelorette?
Hey, we are getting a full season of The Bachelorette. You're going to get 13 episodes of The Bachelorette. But when we thought this may take a turn was pretty early on. I was trying to think if there was really a light bulb moment or an aha moment. It wasn't necessarily, I'm giving myself the rose. I think it was a culmination of things where, as producers, we thought, wow, this is really coming to a head quickly. And I think our first thought was, well, this will continue on and it'll ebb and flow like normal seasons. But when we realized there was only ebb and no flow, we thought we need to look at what we are going to have to do, because we do want to deliver an entire season. And what I meant by that was, the guys aren't happy. You may not end up happy. Like, we can't just keep going and faking this along. We have to figure this out and make a decision. And that's why I keep saying, you're going to see the ball is in her court. The decision is in her hands 100%. And it was pretty early on when we started thinking, we may have to make a change here and do something pretty drastic.
You end up having to intervene at one point. You end up having to go on Clare's dinner portion of her date with Zach after, I think, a confusing and an uncomfortable day for them.
Sorry to barge in, but unfortunately, Clare's not coming to dinner.
I mean, there was a misunderstanding there, and I don't know how that possibly happened.
Why did you end up breaking up with Zach for Clare, and had you ever done that before?
You know, I was trying to think back. I've asked people to leave. I've told people it's not working out. But no, in that type of situation, like showing up to a date instead of the lead, I've never gone to break up with somebody. The reason why, and you kind of hit the nail on the head, that awkward incident in the pool earlier, and that miscommunication and that misunderstanding, there was no coming back for that. Clare clearly saw Zach was not the man for her. That was not going to happen. He was not going to go further than that. There was no reason to go through that dinner. There's no reason to put anybody through that dinner. For her to go fake it and just not give him a rose, and for Zach to try and put himself out there and try and fix it. And the damage had been done at that point. He wasn't getting that rose. We thought, why do this? Why take advantage of this scene and drag it all out when this guy's just going home? And so I just stepped in and said, let's just be done with this and go our separate ways. And I don't think there was any reason to extend that uncomfortable moment for anybody. To put her in that situation, to put him in that situation, there was no need. And so it was just an easy decision to go in and say, hey, let's just end this right now. You're not getting a rose. She's not showing up. You know, it's time to take a moment and say your goodbyes. But to step in like that, the way I did in that type of a date situation, that's the first time I think I've done that. And it's true, by the way, we don't eat the food.
So let's get to the reveal at the end of this episode. I jumped out of my seat. We don't have any words. We just get Tayshia coming out of the pool. Just talk to me about what that signifies. Why show it that way? What does that mean for the fans, and what's next? A confirmation, she is our second Bachelorette.
I think you can definitely start leaning into the fact that things might be turning around soon.
Does it get exhausting for you to dodge these questions? Are you tired?
No, I can bob and weave all night. I got this. I've been doing this for 20 years. My bob and weave is strong. In all seriousness, this is why I love my entire team. From the producers to post department to decide, and it was all them to decide to put that Easter egg at the end, a la James Bond, Halle Berry getting out of the pool, was just jaw-dropping and stunning. When I saw it, I have never, and this is true, I've never rewatched an episode so many times as last week's episode. I think I watched it 3 times. I just think I was that impressed with every ounce of that. And the Tayshia of it all at the end was just incredible.
So what does it mean?
It means that I think we're taking a turn. I think things are coming to a head in La Quinta, and we're gonna have to look to the future.
Okay, a Tayshia turn. Well, if you were going to make a change, why would Tayshia be the right person for that change?
If we were gonna make a change, why would Tayshia be a great Bachelorette? Because she's incredible. Not only is she stunningly beautiful, but she's kind, giving. She's an unbelievably sweet girl. She's somebody I've actually gotten to know and gotten to be friends with over the last couple of years. And she is what the show is kind of predicated on, and that is this amazing woman who kind of seemingly has it all, except she can't find love, and she really wants to find love, and she's dated and she's trying, and it's just not happening. And so, she is that diamond in the rough that any guy would be lucky to fall in love with.
So when was Tayshia's name first brought up to maybe be a turn?
If indeed we go that route. Look, Tayshia was always on the table to be the Bachelorette. She was always a fan favorite. She was always a favorite of the producers. And so she was always on the top of our list. Clearly, we went with Clare, and that was a great choice because she's done a phenomenal job at falling in love. But if things take a turn, then we may have to make a turn as well and make a change. And will it be Tayshia? Probably. We'll find out next week.
Oh my gosh. Will we find out next week?
Yes. I can tell you 100% next week will be very revealing as we really bring this to a head. Okay. And next week you will get a lot of answers.
Okay.
In fact, I think you're going to get all the answers you want next Thursday night. Remember, it's Thursday night. Don't hate on me. There's kind of a big dramatic election going on. We pushed it a couple of days.
Different type of drama. Clare has now called Dale her fiance. She clearly wants to put a ring on it. Could it be one of your rings?
Very possibly so. Great segue, LZ, to the Manly Bands ring line that I'm coming out with. Actually just launched this week. I'm partnering with Manly Bands. You can go to manlybands.com. It's this entire ring line for men. It's men's wedding rings, and actually some that you don't have to be married. They're just kind of awesome rings. In a variety of materials, a variety of looks. The thing is, for women, there are so many different looks. I'm actually wearing, you know the name of this one? The Host.
I see what you did there.
So all the rings in my collection I named. I might have had help from a very special someone in my life. There is one that I also love that's called Napa. That's near and dear to my heart because this girl that I adore, we love wine and we love to go to Napa together. So it's a very special ring line. In all seriousness, it's very near and dear to my heart. I've put my heart and soul into this thing, and it's really special. I want guys to look at this entire ring line and say, I'm going to find not just the perfect ring, but my personality, a ring that definitely speaks to me. And I think I might set a new trend, and that is you're not going to pick one. You might have several rings. Something you may want to wear in a black tie event. If you're feeling country, you wear a little country ring. So we may have to mix it up now and buy multiple wedding rings.
Oh, well, it seems like a good partnership for you because your brand is romance. You're always stylish on the show. But why did it speak to you? Why was this a product you wanted to get involved with?
In all seriousness, because that's what I do. I do love love. I love weddings. I love when people get engaged. I've seen so many amazing love stories and engagements, and I know how hard it is. And so it is so special to find that. And when Manly Bands came to me and asked if I would be a part of this, it was just a no-brainer. And I was really excited because they really allowed me to be really involved in creating these rings. Now, again, the experts took over. The quality is fantastic. I didn't make these rings. They are truly incredible quality, and you'll feel that when you get them. But they really allowed me to create this spectrum where you can kind of find that ring that speaks to you. And so go to manlybands.com, check out the Chris Harrison collection. And look, if you don't like my collection, nothing personal, there's a ton more rings to choose from.
Chris Harrison, I'm only saying your name once in this question, but Claire said Dale's name 42 times in last night's episode. A record?
Dale?
Dale.
Dale.
100%. Clearly, that's a record.